almost 25 years back and had the privilege of working under your father. My question is, all the parties, yours, BJP, or whatever else is in power, they all neglect the middle class. If your party comes to power, what will you do for the middle class?
Well, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to say that all parties neglect the middle class. I think what the Congress party did between 1991 and 2014 massively helped create the middle class. And our policy of liberalization was, frankly, the set of policies that built the entire middle class. So I don't think it's fair to say that the middle class is ignored.
Now, we are not talking of 1.6 trillion.
Well, now, of course, you have to ask Mr. Modi that question. But I will tell you what I think the Congress party can and should do that will help the middle class. Couple of things. The monopolization and capture of the education system and the healthcare system, and the idea that if a middle class person wants to send his child to university or school, he has to pay lakhs and lakhs and potentially crores of rupees to get him into a decent education, needs to be challenged. So you need to put a significantly bigger amount of money into healthcare and into education. And you need to start looking at building high quality education and healthcare infrastructure. I'm not saying that there is no role for the private sector. There is. But the flagships and the standard must be set by large numbers of public sector institutions like the IITs. If you think about it, the IITs were, as an institution, were invented in the 50s. And we keep harping on how good the IITs are, and they're very good. But they're 50-year-old institutions. And one needs to think about how to transform the IIT into a 21st century institution. The value that is currently locked in the IITs needs to be opened out. For example, it is this exact same situation in healthcare. And then if you want to talk about jobs in this country, you have a complete capture of the banking system. 12.5 lakh crores. 12.5 lakh crores of India's banking money is in the hands of 30 or 40 businessmen. If you're a small businessman or a middle-sized businessman, you deal with demonetization, you deal with GST, but you are not forgiven your loans. Mr. Vijay Mallya can run away with 9,000 crores. Mr. Nirav Modi can run away with 30,000 crores, which is the equivalent of one Narega for 1 year, and not a word is said. Mehul Choksi can run away with 30,000 crores. Anil Ambani can be given 30,000 crores just like that. Stolen, frankly, from the people of Orissa, because you have HAL over here. So, some of these monopolies need to be challenged. A young middle-class businessman who wants to set up an industry needs to have similar access to the banking system as Mr. Anil Ambani does. He needs to have similar access to the political system as Mr. Anil Ambani does. And if we centralize power, if everything is run outside the Prime Minister's office, from the Prime Minister's office or from the Chief Minister's office, well, then only 15 people can benefit. 15, 20 people who are close to him can benefit. So, the single biggest step, and this is where Orissa can teach us a huge amount of lessons, is decentralization of power. Bringing power to the people. So I think that is the broad direction in which I would push. Also, things like RTI, things like the Lokpal bill, which conveniently have been forgotten. RTI is a huge defender of the middle class. It is a weapon of the middle class. But today, the RTI is dead. So, giving the middle class protections, giving the middle class certain basic support, and making sure that the bureaucracy can't ride roughshod over the middle class. Those are the type of things we would think about. Thank you.
Distinction between education as a private service or it should be a public good first. So I think that distinction has been made pretty well. Rahul, there
not
is
a private service,
for which you
a money-making enterprise. Because it's not a private service today. Today it is purely a money-making enterprise.